Good morning. Good morning to you. Married at First Sight, Season 9, Episode 6. Happy life, happy wife. Couples have returned from their honeymoon. I am drinking my tea out of my Charlotte cup, thanks to Tammy. Yes, and of course, I'm doing this live. It's just easier for me to do it live than to do it, record it, download it, upload it. So, yes, honey, the couples have returned from their honeymoon. Okay. Ah, girl, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you right now Matt and Amber ain't going to make it. They are doomed. You hear me? Doomed, doomed, doomed. Okay. Think about that. And in the meantime, be sure to subscribe to Church Girls Want to Get Married too. My name is Gina Sultan. If this is your first time visiting with me, and we talk about dating and marriage, and of course, married at first sight, because it's all about marriage and choosing the right person, so on and so forth. So, yes, honey, the couples have returned from their honeymoon. They started out with the couples, getting ready and flying home. They're like, oh, I'm going to miss it, leaving the fantasy, coming back to reality. And that's really what it is. And Pastor Cal also said that the honeymoon is a fantasy, but coming back, it's reality. And especially for these couples, because they met at the altar, so they really didn't know each other before they went on their honeymoon. It's like, what's your name on the honeymoon? So happy life, happy wife. So I love this season. I love Iris here. I love Diona's here. Again, if you are not aware of who the couples are, Iris, who is a virgin, and Keith, Diona, who haven't dated in 10 years, and Greg. And Matt is a basketball player. He is 6'9", and Amber, she's 5'2". And then there is Jamie. I love Jamie, and crazy out there girl, trashy Elizabeth. Okay. Um, so the couples are came back and they had to stay at one of their apartments or house the first night they returned. So Greg started out with Diona and Greg at Diona's place. Cute little place, cute townhouse she has. They stayed at Diona's place the first night. Matt and Amber stayed at Amber's place. Uh, Elizabeth and Jamie stayed at Jamie's place, I believe. And I believe they said um at Jamie's place. And Iris and Keith stayed at Keith's place. And we're gonna talk about Iris finding the condoms, the empty boxes of condoms. Okay. So I thought that was interesting. That's nice. That's nice. This season, the couples are staying at a neutral place. So they return from their honeymoon and now they're going to pack and go to their new apartment. I love that. I love that the show already have a neutral place picked out for them. This way, they didn't have to waste time trying to find a place. Um, Season 1, there was a huge issue with Monet and Vaughn, where Vaughn lives in Jersey, Monet lives in New York, and Vaughn had to move in Monet's place. I think he did bring his mattress, but then he didn't feel as if it was his place. At the end, he was like, "You didn't even give me anywhere to put my clothes," and so on. And then for the other seasons, the couples have found a place together based on their budget. So I think I like this better where there's a place picked out. It's a neutral place. They're all staying in the same complex. I like that also for support reasons. For support reasons. And it's a big complex. It's not like it's a two-floor apartment and, they're sharing a house. It's a huge complex. And so hopefully they're on different ends. But I really like the idea of the couples staying in the same complex. A complex. It's a huge apartment complex. I like that. Of course, I am wearing my Praying for Our Children shirt. It is my first book that I wrote, and I'm wearing this shirt for Amber. We're going to talk about Amber and all her problems she has. So yes, I really like that the couples are staying in a neutral place. It's already furnished and everything. All they have to do is move in. I really like that, and I really like that they were able to go to each other's um home. So when Greg was at Diona's place, he was like, oh, he has a lot of she has a lot of stuff. Diona had a lot of makeup brushes, and then she was explaining why, because different brushes for different parts and different of your face, so on and so forth. And those of you who are in makeup, there's a lot of brushes you have to use to do different things. And Greg was like, it's she has so much stuff, it's like clutter. And he said that it was overwhelming. And I love it when Greg said to Deanna, "We're going to work out 5 days a week," and she was like, "Nope, 2 days." I really like that they play around and they have fun. Deanna and Greg, I really, really, really like that. Also, Greg met Sandy, which is Deanna's dog. I don't know why she was in that cage. Was she in the cage because Greg was coming? I don't think she left him in the cage while she was on vacation. Beautiful dog. Sad. I can see why she named him she named her Sandy. Beautiful, 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 beautiful dog. So Diona said, you know what? She doesn't do well with men, and so she gave Greg a treat, and she took it. She took the treat. So that's the beginning of them trying to build their relationship. Y'all, I don't know how I missed this. I think I might have mentioned it in my other video, and I'm going to link it below. My other video of how I would pass Greg up. Because even though he has a lot of things that you want, or I would want in a husband, for me, I'm not physically attracted to him, and there has to be some kind of physical attraction. So the ladies are thinking that Deanna is not attracted to Greg, that she doesn't like him in that way, that they are totally in a friend zone, and that Deanna and Greg of season 9 is the Will and Jasmine of season 8, where Jasmine was doing all kind of hoops and jumping all kind of hoops and tricks and trying everything to please Will. Come to find out, Will was not attracted to Jasmine. So a lot of the girls are saying Dion is not attracted to Greg. And initially it didn't cross my mind, even though I did that video of I would pass Greg up because I don't find him attractive. I would definitely um, pass him up. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Deanna is not attracted to Greg, or she doesn't like him like that? What do you guys think? All right. So then we went to Jamie and Elizabeth's house, and Jamie's place. It looks like a magazine. Jamie's apartment looks like an apartment in a magazine. Like you could cut that out of a magazine. Extremely neat. Everything is in place. My type of man. See, I told you I love Jamie. I told you guys I love Jamie. His closet is extremely organized. I love that. Elizabeth is saying, "Oh, it's neat. Everything is in place. It's freakishly neat and organized." And then she says, "Well, I can't wait to mess it up." Why would you say that? I don't understand. This is why I think, and I think I said this last week, Elizabeth is not ready for marriage. First of all, she's trashy. Just like she is not classy, and I think Jamie needs a classy woman. Jamie needs a woman that he can take to the presidential ball, and Elizabeth is not it. You don't know what's going to come out of her mouth. Her mouth is like diarrhea. You don't know what's going to come out. She has no self control. She has no mouth control. And for Jamie, I believe that Jamie needs a classy woman, an upclass woman, just a real classy woman. Somebody like Princess Diana or something, but not Elizabeth, but someone that's really classy and have themselves together and who has self-control, but Elizabeth is not it. Because if somebody who Jamie might have a little bit of touch of OCD, if his place is neat and everything is in place, and this is what he needs to live and survive, why would you say you can't wait to mess it up? Like, I would scream. You have to go. And did y'all see the previews for next week? I'm going to link it and I'll do a thingy on that. So, what do you guys think about Elizabeth? Talk about, I can't wait to mess it up. Okay. I didn't like that. All right. So, Amber and Matt. Of course, Amber's all over Matt. They're not going to make it, child. They're not going to make it. I don't think Matt has any kind of physical attraction to Amber, but he might be doing the sex, but uh-uh. So then we go to Keith and Iris home. Iris, she is OCD to the umpteen. They should have matched Iris with Jamie. They would have. Everything is neat and in place. Keith didn't make his bed. I must admit, I don't always make my bed every morning because sometimes I get up. I get up 9 or 10 times. I get up before my husband. When I'm leaving the house, he's just getting up. So I don't always make my bed, but I have a good reason for not always making my bed, and he'll try to make it. And you fold the sheets and it's all out of place, and I'm like, whatever, just leave the bed. Keith had his stuff all over the place. Iris was just having a fit good morning. And something Keith said that I did not like, and I said this, Keith is a little boy. He needs a mom. And Iris is like that mom type. He said maybe she will push me to be a better man. That's not Iris's job. That's your mama's job. The holy woman, the holy roller. Okay? And I don't mean that in an offensive way, because I know some people say that and it's offensive. I don't mean that in an offensive way. That was your mother's job. Okay. And see, a lot of women get with these builder males and fixer uppers and try to make them into a better man. And then he gets up and leave you and go find a woman who can appreciate him for the man you've made him into be. See, I'm pushing and I'm making my 4-year-old into a boy, into a man, so that he can be a prepared man and choose a wife. He will not need his wife to make him into a better man or to make him into a man, because that is my job and my responsibility. Okay? So then the couple's waking up. Lord Jesus, did y'all see Diona in the bonnet? Diona, why? Why? Why, Diona, do you have a bonnet on TV? You knew the cameras were coming, girl. You could have gotten up, take the bonnet off, so that by the time the cameras come, the bonnet is gone. But there she go, laying in the bed with the bonnet on. Please, women of color, take the bonnets off, okay? Before the camera gets there. On the honeymoon, it was Iris in her bonnet. Okay, and I understand we have to protect her hair. I don't. I just go to bed just like this. But before the camera people come, take the bonnet off. Before you turn the camera on, take the bonnet off. Oh. So Beth, of course, she didn't have no clothes on, waking up, no clothes on at all. And we're going to get to the other couples' homes in a minute, okay? I just want to go in the order of the show, because some people don't have the show and have cable. So I go, for me, I go in the order the show goes, and I take notes as the show goes so that you can follow along. Because I know some people are overseas. Some of my friends are in Canada and England, and they don't have it, so they watch my thing just to know what's going on, okay? And they're in my Facebook group. So I do the show in the order, okay? Beth had no clothes on. Iris stayed at Keith. We talked about that already. They had clothes, Keith again, stuff all over the place. He his clothes was just there. Thick old guy. He's just like a college student. Just throw it all over. Mommy will come and fix it up. So then Keith is up and he's getting married. And Iris, I would not call it snooping because they're getting to know each other. She's pulling out drawers and she's looking in the fridge. You see her looking in the fridge. She's looking at the glasses. And so then she gets to his nightstand and pulls out the drawer. And in the drawer is excuse me, a green like bag. Those little bags with the drawstring. She opens it and ta-da! A huge box of empty condoms. The condoms were not in the box. They were all gone. But the box was empty. Huge. And she started to have a fit like, oh, where are they? Where are they? Where's the condoms? Oh, did you use all these condoms? Oh my God, the condoms are empty. And she said, I have a question. Keith is like, already? I think Keith is a little annoyed with her. And she's like, where's the rest? Where's the condoms? They're gone. Then he said, well, he took some on the honeymoon, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And then he went over his book bag to show her that this is where the rest of the condoms are. And she's like, but there's only 3. And he's like, well, yeah, that's the rest of the box. Okay, the empty box, the 3 condoms are the rest of the condoms that were in the box. So then they had a little moment, and she's like, well, I would want him to use it on me. And he's looking at her like, really? And she's like, well, no, eventually. And he's like, well, we have 3, he's ready. I think just Iris have to understand that her decision to be an alleged virgin, the virgin that does everything else except the penetration, is that's a decision that she made. And that's not a decision that other people have made. And that's not how other people have chosen to live their life. So you just have to respect their life and their past. And Keith said, well, that's not helping us right now. That is not this the past is not helping us. And how can we move ahead? Which he's right. What happened even the night, well, once they got the notice that they were engaged, I would hope that the couples were not participating in any kind of sex with other people or or anything like that. So he's like, you know what? How productive is this? This is not productive talking about the missing condoms. I had a life before you, basically. Okay. And so they talked about it and they were able to move on. So I'm glad they were able to talk it through and move on. She needs to understand he was not a virgin. He's not. Keith is a okay. Keith is a and he's 27. Yeah. And my dad said, guys have to get the dog out. Okay. So then it's Amber and Matt, and they're going to Matt's house, or should I say Matt's room. He's crashing at somebody's house. His room is pretty basic. He's transient. He's like, pack the suitcase, go. Sort of like you stayed in a hotel. Very basic. He keeps a lot of his stuff at his mom's house because he lives in a hotel. He travels light. And so he said, I don't have anything to contribute. I don't have much other than me and my clothes because he's always moving around and a lot of stuff is at his mom's house, his mother that he hasn't spoken to allegedly in 2 years. Well, he said it. He hasn't spoken to his mom or his dad in about 2 years. And so the couples are visiting. Pastor Cal, we're at the part now where Pastor Cal visits with the couples. And I like this change I like this change because he kind of brings them back to reality. Okay. Pastor Cal is visiting and is like, okay, the fantasy's over. Now it's reality. Have you talked about your finances, living arrangements, household chores, children, stuff like that? And so I love that they have Pastor Cal to come in and bring them back into reality. Okay. I love that. So then Keith told Pastor Cal about the ring, how he lost the ring. I thought that was scripted. I talked about that. That was scripted. And they talked about the work schedule, how Iris, they're a little concerned because she gets up early and she's a morning person. She leaves out early. Keith is not a morning person. His day begins later. And so they're trying to figure out or wonder when are they going to connect because of scheduling. But I'm sure they'll be able to connect. It's not that one work a day and one work at night. I think one day begin earlier than the other, which is fine. Pastor Cal asked them if they've talked about finances. They said not really. But I think for the show, since the show's providing, because usually last season or the season before that, each couple got $5,000 a month for living expenses. So maybe the show's trying to find ways to cut expenses. So this time they provided a place, and I love that. Iris kept saying, I don't know him. He's a stranger. Do you remember else who said this person is a stranger? Okay. 2, 3 episodes ago. I'm not going to give, that's the hint. I'm not going to say if it's a he or she. But about 2 or 3 seasons ago, somebody kept saying, "You're a stranger. I don't know you. You're a stranger. You're a stranger. I will sleep on the couch. You're a stranger. I don't know you." So put it in the comment section. Who else used to say it? You're a stranger. So Pastor Cal talks about, let me turn my ear on, about the big elephant in the room, which is Iris's virginity. And Keith is, he's pretty patient. He understands it, so on and so forth. And something Pastor Cal says to them, especially Miss Iris, the alleged virgin, who has done everything else, variations of sex, and you can put your definition, whatever that means. He says, don't allow the virginity to be a thing. Don't make that a thing. And I'm glad he said that. I'm so glad that he said that because every other word is, I'm a virgin, 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 I'm a virgin. So I'm happy that Pastor Cal said to them, do not make this a thing. Okay, you guys are adults, and if you decide to go ahead and do it, then just go ahead and, well, he didn't say that, but that's what I'm reading into what he's saying. So I'm glad he said don't make it a thing. Okay, so we're back to now Elizabeth plays clutter. Jamie said it's clutter. Nothing matches. Did you guys see the washer and dryer in her bedroom? Is she renting a room? I don't understand why a washer and dryer would be in your bedroom. Did y'all see that? I forgot to post that in my group. Did you guys notice that in her bedroom she has a washer and dryer? So no, she has an apartment. So why is the washer and dryer? I don't know, John. So he said that her personality matches her space. Cluttered. He says nothing matches, nothing coordinates. In comparison to Jamie's place, Elizabeth's place is a mess. To Jamie, stuff is all over the place. She has a lava lamp. The colors are all mismatched, but he said it matches her personality. Clutter. I couldn't live like that. Even though every room in my house is a different color, but they all go together. So, Jamie and Elizabeth, they're not gonna make it neither. Jamie's gonna leave her. Did you see the previews for next week? Jamie's gonna leave her. She's too crazy. She's too out there. She's not ready to get married. Okay. So then Pastor Cal visits, and he always says some good stuff, even though Pastor Cal be doing some crooked stuff, matching these people, but he always says some good stuff. So Pastor Cal says, and I need to write this down for me and my husband, but I think we're beyond because we've been 6 years. He said to them, they have to learn the marriage dance. I love that, right? I love that because he has to lead, she has to follow. If one person is not learning the steps, you have to go back and let's do it together. I absolutely love that. He said, if you argue, stop and solve that problem. That is so true in marriage because if you don't, stuff keeps piling on top of each other, on top of each other. My godmother and her husband got a divorce after 30 years of marriage. And I asked her, what did you go through at 30 years that you didn't go through during your marriage? Excuse me. She said it was always stuff that kept happening that they never dealt with. And so one day she got up and she was like, nope, I'm leaving. And so also in the Bible, there's a verse in the scripture, I think it's in Ecclesiastes, that says, it's the little foxes that spoils the whole vine. Okay? So it's those little things that's happening in your marriage that you're not addressing and you're not fixing that's eventually going to destroy your marriage. And then one day you're going to wake up and you're at the divorce court. Okay? And so for my husband and I, based on what my godmother told me, based on those scriptures, we believe in continual counseling. And so we have a marriage counselor, family counselor that we go and see 4 or 5 times a year. Matter of fact, I spoke to him yesterday. I need to go see him because my mom is here visiting me and she drives me crazy. Oh, she drives me crazy. But we have a marriage counselor, and also to give her a message that Michael, my husband, said, that we go see him. And so you have to deal with those little things. So I love Pastor Cal. He said, stop and dealing with it, solve it. And he talked about naked moments. You know my book, The Naked Wife. You know my book. Pastor Cal must have been reading my book, The Naked Wife. And Pastor Cal talked to them about having those naked moments. We're detached from the computer, the internet, the TV, from everyone. Focus on each other and just vomit to each other. Just be real. Just be naked. And then eventually Jamie and Elizabeth have a naked moment. And I love that. And Pastor Cal also talked about how they need to learn to communicate effectively. If you go back and you watch episode 1, Pastor Cal said, he said it. He said, what's going to destroy them or keep them together is their ability to communicate effectively. I'm going to go back and watch that clip. He said it. Pastor Cal said it. So he said, I'm matching them together. But their ability to effectively communicate. And I love that. Because in everything we do, we're communicating. The question is, are we effectively communicating? Okay. And I love that. What do you guys think about that? Effectively communicate and naked moments. And of course, my Naked Wife book is available on Amazon. And there's a lot of naked moments in this book of wives telling their story. Okay. So now the couples are back there at Amber's place. Very cute. Matt breaks the shower curtain. You know, he's 6'9", and so the shower curtain reaches him here, and he's holding on to it. You know, like you're standing, you just hold on to the chair, and it breaks. And he's like, I've broken a few shower curtains in my life. Pastor Cal visits. They said the honeymoon was fun and amazing. Matt has lived with a few girlfriends. Amber has not. Matt has shacked up. I'm sure he come back from overseas. You know, he just live with a girl until it's the next time to go. Pastor Cal separate Amber and Matt, which was interesting because he didn't do that for any of the other couples, right? He separated them, and I'm assuming it's because of what happened on their honeymoon. And, you know, the producers are there because Dr. Pepper said last season that they depend on the producers to keep them up to date on what the couples are doing and if they're following their rules and their regulations, because that's how they knew about Luke and Kate last season, okay? So Pastor Cal separates them. Amber talks about they had sex. He was a bit surprised, but you know what? You guys are adults. Amber says she's fallen, but she says she's not sure Matt is feeling for her the way she's feeling. He ain't, girl. He ain't. He don't like you. He does not like Amber. You could see it in his face. I went back and watched the clip when they were talking about the money. Did you see his mouth was like, and the bathroom scene, which is coming up. Pastor Cal says marriage, it takes two people. It's about two people, husband and wife, and you're becoming one. He didn't say that. That's what I'm saying. And so both people have to contribute. It's not one. She's afraid that Matt doesn't care as much for her as she does him. He doesn't. Amber has abandonment issues and rejection issues. So every little thing she thinks Matt is abandoning her or rejecting her, and she will do any and everything to keep him with her as taking care of them. I make $80,000 a year. I can take care of us while you try to get on your feet. And I just don't believe that Matt don't have any money. So I'm excited and interested to listen to the when they talk about finance. Okay. Matt says scares him and hope that the feelings doesn't change. So he's saying, I think Matt is having a moment with his mom and his dad that, yes, Amber's into me. Amber cares the world about me, as Pastor Cal says, but I hope it doesn't change. Because Matt is thinking that's what happened between my mama and my daddy. It changed. Something happened. I'm interested to know what happened. And Pastor Cal said, are you being your authentic you? If you're being your authentic you, if you're not pretending, see, ladies, don't pretend, don't fake it. If you are not pretending you're being your authentic you, then everything should work out okay. And Pastor Cal asks Matt, can you see yourself developing love with her at some point? And Matt says, the little boy at school trying to answer the question. Um, 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 yeah. It's like he's giving the answer that he knows Pastor Cal want to hear. He knows Pastor Cal want to hear, yes, you can fall in love with her, and he gives her the answer. He said he's not being good with corny and cheesy. And see, he sees love and being in love and being affectionate and expressing love and holding hands and kissing as being corny and cheesy. Matt needs some counseling. That's not corny and cheesy. That's love that you get to express to your mate and appreciate each other. My husband and I in the car, we're always touching. Either his hands is on my leg or my hands is behind his car seat, rubbing his back or on his head or something like that. Because it's physical touch is so important. You can express love in different ways. So it's interesting that he sees that as being corny. So when Pastor Kyle talks to Amber, she's real. Those abandonment issues, she need counseling. I'm so tired with Amber. I'm tired. I was like, oh Lord, I'm just really, really tired. Pastor Cass said about Matt and Amber, they need to drop their walls and be vulnerable. I think that Amber has done that to some extent. Matt has not because on the honeymoon, when they were swimming, he said, I'm protecting my heart, but he needs to begin to drop those walls. So that's telling me that Matt has also had some emotional issues, perhaps with women, but I think it's his parents. I think it's his parents. Because you know how men are, okay? They can sleep with a different woman every day of the week, and it means absolutely nothing to them. Some men, not like Greg. Greg is just, he's a fool in love, okay? So I'm thinking Matt's issue is coming from his parents. Pastor Casa Matt asked about Matt business venture. Amber Amber has said a lot of times, don't leave me. And I wrote that in all caps. Don't leave me. Amber needs a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist, and a counselor. She don't need to be married. She don't need a husband. She needs counseling. She said it to Pastor Cal. I said a lot of like, don't leave me, because somebody leaving her reignites her abandonment issues that she has with her mom. That I don't know if the parents got counsel, her dad got them counseled. They might not, because some people don't believe in counseling, but she has it really, really bad. And I don't believe a marriage is a place to fix that. She needs to be single and go see a counselor to fix that. Okay. So they talked about the finances, and he said, it's my responsibility to provide. And that's what I said. Other people's like, oh, he's being ego. No, 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 no. Some men, like my husband, like Matt, were raised with the understanding that they are to provide. Okay. And when I was dating, I was looking for men who understood that they didn't understand it was their responsibility to provide. I was interested. Okay. Pastor Kyle saying that they both need each other. My little one is coming. I hope he has a shirt on. It's they both need each other. I think they need to just don't need each other and just leave. Okay, so now we're back at house visiting, and we're at Greg's house. And Matt's house, Greg's house, is extremely nice. They even showed from the outside how it looks. Nice 4-bedroom. Deanna said it's fancy. Her little fancy. I love that about her. He has 2 ovens. Nice. I like that. It's very nice and very clean. Hello. Nice, clean. Deanna has a dog. Okay. She said, oh, you have a screen porch and a deck and an unfinished basement. So very, very nice, beautiful 4 bedrooms. And it's just him, mainly because he wanted to be married. But don't forget, he's had this house for 4 years and he's been single for 2 years. So do you think that fiance girl was living there? Greg probably bought that house for her. And then she's like, look, I'm not interested, and ran. Left him. Okay. Deanna, she said, this is a big house. How long does it take to clean? In her mind, she's like, Lord Jesus, I'm going to have to clean this house. So then it goes to the couples moving in. And again, I love that they are in the same complex. Later's church. So this is the last vacation Bible school. So Deanna says she's excited about moving in, and it won't be bad, opposite but similar. I love that. There's a scripture that says, when I'm weak, you are strong. And so she's saying his weakness is her strength and his strength is her weakness. So I love that she's starting to pick up on that. The other concern is with the dog. Will the dog adjust well to Greg? Sandy, the dog, she sheds a lot and drool a lot. And you can see Greg like, oh, Jesus, Lord Jesus. No, the dog sheds a lot. They have not had sex yet. They're just but kissing, little pecks. Like I do my baby, little peck. Peck here and there. So Pastor Cal visit, and Pastor Cal asks if Greg is okay with the no sex, and he's like, Greg is. Remember when he was in the water and he was like, oh, let me get in this water and back away from her, because he was getting excited. And he's basically said sometimes he's okay, but you can tell he's ready. He's ready to get busy. And so Deanna had to explain why it's so slow. But again, I just think she's not attracted to him. I'm starting to think that she's not attracted to him. And then she talks about the too much compliments, and Pastor Cal's like, that is unusual. You don't like compliments? He said, what? That's unusual. Do you know how many people who need compliments? And so Greg says in his own private time, he was very glad that Pastor Cal said that, because that makes no sense. Less is better for her. And she don't know what to say. You say thank you. You say thank you. Deanna, and women who don't like compliments, say thank you and give him a compliment. And she says she feels it's an overload. What? Man, give me all the compliments. I went out with my hubby and I, we do day lunch, we do day dates. So we went out to lunch on Monday, and I'm sitting across from him, talking to him, and he stops me in the middle of my sentence. And he said, how about we just talk about how beautiful you look in that dress? I was like, really? And the dress, I kind of threw the dress on. And I was thinking, well, I'm going out with lunch. I should probably have something real sexy on. It was just a dress that I didn't have to iron. Nice dress. But, I wouldn't consider it was very, very sexy. It was a white dress with black stripes. But he really liked it. And I was like, oh, thank you, darling. So my husband is a lot like Greg. Give you compliments every drop of the hat. Pastor Cal asked Deanna, where's that coming from? That's unusual. You know how many people would need compliments. Okay. So for Deanna and Greg, Pastor Cal wanted them to practice some type of physicality, holding hands, touching, hugging, kissing, like real kissing. But Deanna's not feeling him. She looks like I look when the church folks was forcing me to go out with guys I didn't like. Okay. He tapped into Deanna's independence. Pastor Kyle, you all right with me this season. He says to Deanna, listen to what he says. Lean on Greg, be vulnerable. Because she's been on her own. She's been independent. She has her own house, car, education, blah, blah, blah. She's Miss Independence. And so Pastor Cal wants her to begin to lean on Greg and be vulnerable to him. She don't need to be Miss Independent anymore. Did you guys see, though, when they were sitting on the couch, Deanna initiated the touch and touched his hand. And what did Greg do? Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means when a man does this to your hand? Somebody did this to me and was like, whoop! And I was married. And he knew I was married because he knows my husband. Okay? We shook hands, and then he did this to me. Do you guys know what the scratching of the palm is? Leave it in the comment section for me, okay? This will tell me how far you guys are watching. So then they're moving in the complex. Amber says she was hesitant about moving in. I don't believe you're a lying child. You want to be around Matt all the time. So they were driving, and all of a sudden they talk about how hungry they are. And all of a sudden there's a Sonic, and she has a Sonic app on her phone, and Sonic is right down the street. That was scripted, and that's for commercial purposes. But hey, get your money, Married at First Sight. I'm not mad. Matt, lots of feelings about moving in because he knows she's needy. Matt knows Amber is a needy freak. She got a lot of issues. My belly is full. Yeah. Deanna's packing. She packed a lot of stuff. She said, this is trip one. I bust out laughing because you could see Greg's eyes like, trip one? She had the back of the truck full with her suitcases. Amber said the apartment was bougie but nice, big, romantic feel, and it feels like home. I like that because it feels like home to her, and then maybe she won't miss home so much. But as long as she's with Matt, um, so then it cuts back to Beth and Jamie, and they're in bed because this is the night of now. They're in bed. And oh no, we didn't talk about that part yet. We didn't talk about that part. Did I skip something? We skipped the part about Elizabeth and the dogs. She had the giving the water to the dogs. Did I skip that? They went to visit. I sure did. I sure did. Probably the time the baby was coming down. Elizabeth was drinking the water, and then he says to her, she says to him, "Don't judge me based on what I'm going to do, and allow the dogs to drink out of the glass she just drank out of." And Jamie was like, Jamie's gonna leave her. He's gonna leave her. Okay, here it is. She brings the dogs. This is it. I'm sorry, I got mixed up. She puts the dogs on the bed. Jamie is shaking his head. Jamie is scared, but Beth is the right person. This is interesting. If you watch my video on Jamie alleged fiance, that watch the video. I'm going to link it below about Jamie's alleged fiance, how he left her high and dry. And Jamie says something that's interesting. He said, "I've been scared to do this," but he believes that Beth is the right person. Make sure you see my other video about Jamie's fiance, okay? Hey, King Mark, how are you? Deanna put Greg in the friend zone. She's rejecting compliments. Greg's a great guy, but she's a yeah. She's friend zone him. She friend zoned him. She's not into him. She's acting like how I acted when I didn't like a guy. You try to be nice. Oh, the city is cutting our trees. They had came and planted 4 trees on our property. We on the corner lot. See them? Mm-hmm. Turn it on. Turn it on. Jamie has to get used to this one. Jamie has to get used to the dogs. I don't think he's. They're cutting the trees. Those are the city trees. And that's when Miss Elizabeth let the dog drink out of the glass. And Jamie's like, "Oh my God, throw it away." He's like, "I have a cat. I have my cat stuff and I have my stuff and I don't, nasty." So then Elizabeth said, "Let's have a naked moment." And she asked Jamie, "What do you think about the dog?" Jamie said, "You sure you want the truth?" Because Miss Elizabeth, she runs off. You can't say nothing to her. She's like a little girl who is trying to get a treat that your daddy's gonna say no, and then you're gonna have a tantrum and fall out and faint. She said, "What do you think about the dogs?" And Jamie's like, "It's a lot." He's concerned about cleanliness. He's gonna have to try to get used to it. It's a lot. That's a lot. That's when you're dating. If you have dogs, you have animals, you have to find an animal lover. And Jamie has a cat. We don't know the cat's name. But okay, but Elizabeth has 3 dogs, 2 or 3 dogs, okay? So then Elizabeth goes to Sagen, the apartment. No. Sage, okay, Sage in the apartment to cleanse the face. And Jamie's like, "What the?" She's into all kind of crazy stuff. And he made a comment that she's a character. A character. So he sees Elizabeth as a character. Okay. And he says his motto with mhm. Let me go back to her stage. So she staged the whole house and then she come and did him and she spent a lot of time down here at the Dingaling. She spent a lot of time down here. So he said his motto is with Beth is just to roll with it. That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work. Not in a marriage. Not in a marriage. Beth cleansing apartment and Jamie. Back to Matt and Amber unpacking. Matt has a picture of himself when he was a little boy, and I think that's the memory of him and his parents, how happy they were. Amber was unpacking all her bras, and he was like, "Are those lingeries?" And she had a lot of bras, and he was like, "No, these are just bras. I have another drawer for that." Matt had a lot of keepsakes, like I said, as the picture. He had a newspaper, and he had another picture of him when he was in a basketball uniform, play for a team, and I absolutely love the keepsake. Iris and Keith. Oh, Iris has a lot of quirky ways. She had the head wrap. It was so cute. I love Iris head wrap. Um, Keith asked about the side of the bed. Do you guys, if you're married, do you guys sleep with side of the bed? Yeah, I slept to the corner when we first got married. I slept to the corner. But once I had the baby, I slept closest to the door because the baby room is across the room. But then I was like, forget the room, put the pack play right here. It was more space, so I still sleep there just in case the baby decides to sleep in his room. I could just get up and run. Keith is nervous about moving in. Keith says all his clothes are on the floor. Iris went in the closet and she's like, mine, 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 mine. And Keith was like, okay, I just put all my stuff in the closet. And she has a lot of little weird ways, and she's got a bad touch of OCD. Like when you come in the house with your outside clothes, do not sit near the pillows in your clothes. I guess I could see that. I mean, I come in and change my clothes, but if you want to sit on your bed, she wanted liners in her drawers. Keith is like, no, I don't need liners. I've been using these drawers forever. Drawers, throw them in there. You could tell she was getting she wanted to go off, but because of the cameras, and she's like, you know what? We don't have to agree. We don't have to agree. You don't want liners. You don't have to have liners, but I want to have liners. Did you see previews for next week? Oh my god. Mm, mm, mm. So then the big drama is yes, not yet for church. Church is later after school. Okay. Apparently, Matt and Amber's apartment has two bathrooms. Okay. And because you don't want to go to school. Well, let me finish this, okay? Then we could talk about you staying home or not going to school today. Apparently, okay. Apparently, Amber and Matt's apartment has two bathrooms. Matt, because he's lived with other women before, took the initiative to say, you know what? Let me use the other bathroom. Maybe Amber wants to have the whole bathroom to herself. She comes up to the bathroom. That's the picture I put up. What are you doing? He's like, I'm utilizing the other bathroom. She's like, why are you trying to be away from me? Why are you not trying to share my space? You know I have abandonment issues. She didn't see that part. I'm just adding stuff to it. And she's going off about Matt using the other bathroom. And she's like, are you my roommate? Are you my husband? He's like, I'm your husband and we live together, so it's both. She was like, no, you're not my roommate. I don't have sex with my roommate. Why are you trying not to share my space? And you can see it in Matt's face. His mouth. Will go back and watch that clip. His eyes said it all. His mouth said it all. And I think maybe he might have went off or something because they cut the clip. And then the next scene is they're sitting at the table having dinner. Nobody's talking. And you hear him hung, chunk, 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 chunk. No, I'll drop you off to school. So what do you guys think about that? Do you know what I would give for two bathrooms? My husband and I share a bathroom. I hate to share a bathroom with my husband. I want my own bathroom. But when we were looking for this house, our number one on the list was it had to have a third floor apartment with a bathroom for my daughter because my daughter was 19 when I got married. I had my daughter when I was 16. She was 19 when I got married. And so I wanted her to have her own space. Girls need to have their own space. She could be up there. She could be walking around in her they whatever clothes without being nervous about walking into my husband. Okay. Or vice versa. My husband can get up in the night. Okay, just a minute, and go to the bathroom in his drawers. Don't have to worry about walking into my daughter. So that was the number one thing. So I had to sacrifice bathroom on the first floor. Don't have a bathroom on the first floor, and I had to sacrifice having my own bathroom. So my bad husband and I share a bathroom. Do you know what I would give to have my own bathroom? Because ladies, you're married. You can't. The bathroom can't be all girly. He already told me I can't do no girly bathroom. Girly. As long as it's not all pink and all this. So my bathroom is pretty neutral. My bedroom is pretty neutral. And I have little, I might let me show you. I have this something like this, and I put this on my pillow or something or on the bed or something. I have little girly little thing here and there, but it's neutral. The blankets are neutral. I don't have no pink blankets, no peach blankets, no girly blankets, no very neutral for him. But I do have some little girly touches. And in the bathroom, neutral, just neutral for a guy. And I have a little, I might have candle here and there. And so my towels, neutral. I might have a few pink towels from myself, but for him, towels are very neutral. So Amber, enjoy the bathroom. Okay, stop being clingy. Stop with the abandonment issues. And she later talked about being sensitive. Okay, give me 1 second. And so at the dinner, they were silent. And I'm almost finished. And and close your mouth. And so she breaks the silence, and that's when she talks about her being sensitive, and she's like hypersensitive, and he's like, I just thought that you can use the I could use the bathroom. That she said she's going to what's the word she used? Basically give and take, which makes no sense. It's an apartment. It's not even a house. It's an apartment. The bathroom is right next door. She's like, you want to sleep in the other room too? I'm tired of Amber. I'm just like tired. I'm tired of Amber. Okay. So the first night, Beth and Jamie have sexy time. Of course, Joel's having sex. She's nothing wrong. They're married. She puts the dog out and say, "Mommy and Daddy want to have sexy time." Greg and Diona about the side of the bed, and she said in the middle. So that means, see, she's coming closer and closer and closer to Greg. Amber and Matt. Amber has sweats on again. I just think that Matt is not attractive to her. Amber needs to fix up herself. She needs to comb her hair. She needs to put a dress on. She don't even have to put makeup on, but she could put toner on to kind of even out her skin. Comb your hair, Amber. I just don't think he's attractive to her, and I don't think he's into her as much as she's into him. Okay. Iris and Keith said, but Keith asked if you want to bless the home, and she said, "Why don't we just pray?" She said, "Do a good night prayer," and basically that ends it for the night. I didn't see the previews because you had to watch the Million show, but I did see the previews yesterday. Somebody showed me the previews. The previews are crazy. Okay, give me a minute. The previews are crazy for next week. And you know who's the crazy one? Amber. So I'm going to do another video on the previews for next week because the previews are juicy. Okay. So tell me your thoughts about this episode. What do you think about Crazy Amber? I think that she needs counseling. She needs to go see a psychologist, psychiatrist, a counselor, and a therapist. I think that she has a lot of abandonment issues that she didn't take care of, and she should have taken care of it. Those issues should not be taken care of in marriage. It should have been taken care of. They should have gotten counseling. I don't know if the dad got them in counseling. If he did, it didn't help. And so I think Amber really needs to go sit down and see somebody because she's looking for what she needs from her mom in that, in a husband, and it's a totally different relationship, and the marriage is going to be destroyed because she don't understand the boundaries. That Matt is your husband. She's not your mama. And she can't give you what your mother didn't give you. And a marriage is not the place for that, because in marriages, there are so many other issues you have to deal with. Wait a minute, because you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait. In marriages, there's so many issues you have to deal with that you don't have time to parent also. It's like Matt needs to be married and parent and mother Jamie. And you can just wait a minute. You can see the disgust and the tiredness in Matt's face about Amber, how needy she is, how clingy she is. And it's just not going to work. He's going to run out and leave her. He's going to leave her because she's too needy and she's too clingy. And a marriage is just not the place for that. Because in marriages, there's so many other issues you have to deal with that comes with your marriage, that you should not have to be dealing with mama issues. Tell me your thoughts below. Please share this out. And be sure to watch my other video on the whole Jamie's fiance thing. Michael says goodbyes. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.